streaming, and now I believe it's also recording. Yeah, it's recording. CPU went up. Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In this stream, I'm going to be doing the first day of investigation as well as the first trial of Case 3. Let us proceed. Grah! You have disgraced me for the last time, Steel Samurai. The pale moon in the sky cries for your blood. The moon? No. It is you who should gaze upon the moon, for it will be the last moon you ever see. See you in hell, evil magistrate. Whoa! Oh god, my voice is already hurting from this. No more of this. The warrior's swords go through the one has fallen, but who? Only the moon knows. Don't miss next week's exciting episode. The Dark Messenger returns. Well, I guess it didn't finish him off if he's returning. That rocked. See you in hell, evil magistrate. Whoa! Stop waving that broom around. I like what happens in the anime here, where she just hits him in the face with the broom. Oh, Nick, I didn't know you were here. Of course I'm here. What was that surreal show you were watching? What? Nick, you mean you don't know the Steel Samurai? He's the most popular TV hero for young people. Young? Like, how young? 10 years old? Then what the heck are you doing getting all excited? Hey, I'm only 17. That's 17. See, I'm a teen. Not like you, Nick. Hey, don't talk to me like I'm your grandpa or something. I'm only 24 myself. Now watch it with me. He's really cool, and it's really popular. When they ask grade school kids what they want to be, Steel Samurai was number 1. I really worry about kids these days. Tramps. Well, the Steel Samurai's over. I guess it's time to close up the office. I guess. Wish we got some clients. A month has passed since my trial. Mia's murder was the talk of the town for some time. But no one paid any attention to the Wright & Co. law offices. How am I going to pay the rent this month? It'll be okay. I'm sure some big client is just around the corner. Hello, this is Phoenix. Nick! Maya, what? It's still early. It's the Steel Samurai! The Steel Samurai got arrested! Huh? You mean the guy on that show? Yes! They're saying that the Steel Samurai killed a villain! Isn't that what he's supposed to do? Yeah, on TV! Yeah, on TV. No, I mean he actually did it in real life! He skewered a villain with a samurai spear! I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Just come to the office, quick! Please, Nick! October 16th, 9:22 a.m. Wright & Co. law offices. Maya's here, watching television. Now for the morning news. The actor Will Powers was arrested yesterday. Powers plays the lead role in the popular kid show The Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Tokyo. He was arrested on suspicion of murder. The victim was Jack Hammer, who played the villain known as the Evil Magistrate. His body was found still inside the Evil Magistrate costume. The Steel Samurai was also found stuck through the body. I mean, the Samurai Spear. My bad, I'm bad. Police believe this was the murder weapon and are investigating further. This has to be a joke. No, no, no! It's a nightmare! The Steel Samurai is over! The world is over! Phone ringing. Yes, Wright & Co. law offices. What? Nick! It's the Steel Samurai! What? Yes, yes, of course. We'll be right there. Let's go, Nick. Go? Go where? They have the Steel Samurai down in detention. So what? So, I've decided this will be our first case. Alright, let's begin talking. Well, what should we do? What should we do? How can you just sit there like that? We have to get down to the detention center and meet the Steel Samurai. Does she want to investigate this case or just do some sightseeing, I wonder? My money's on sightseeing. We don't have enough information to make a case yet. Just admit it. You don't have a clue what happened. No, we just don't have enough information. Well, something I want to add to the title. I just changed the name of the title real fast. Alright, let's head down to the detention center. October 16th, detention center. Visitor's room. What's wrong, Maya? It's him. In the flesh. Is that guy really him? What do you mean, that guy? Of course it's him. Will Powers, our client. That's him. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but he definitely did it. Murder. At least once, maybe twice. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you saying? Yes? Something wrong? No, no! This is getting off to a great start. I know. You're disappointed, aren't you? Disappointed? Oh, no! Oh, no! No, it's okay. This is the real me. When I got the part of the Steel Samurai with the mask, I decided I would never show my face in public until the show was over. It's the kids, you know? I didn't want to wreck their dreams. I guess it didn't matter so much for dreams. I wonder what they think of the Steel Samurai now. Nick. He's a good guy. I mean, he's good. Yeah. He didn't do it. I will say that there is something to seeing, like, big name people you recognize in person. Because up until that point, it's just like, oh, it's just some I mean, like, effectively, in your mind, like, oh, it's just some person on the thing that I watched. But then you see him in real life, and it's like, oh no, this is a real person. If that makes any sense. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. What happened? Maybe you could start by telling us what happened. Yes, of course. It seems like it was only yesterday. Actually, it was only yesterday. The cast had come down to Global Studios for a run. We went through a few action sequences at 10 that morning. There was a rehearsal scheduled for 5 in the afternoon. When 5 came around and the staff gathered at the studio, the evil magistrate was found lying in a crumpled heap near the set. They took off his mask and discovered that it was Jack Hammer, dead. He had been expertly skewered with a samurai spear. The samurai spear? Yes, it's a long spear that the Steel Samurai uses as a weapon. Maybe you can explain to me just what the Steel Samurai is. Nick, how could you say such a thing? I'm sorry, sir. I apologize for my partner. He's new to this and a bit out of touch with the world. Hey, who's new to this? No, it's alright, really. Steel Samurai is the lead character in a popular kids show. He walks the streets of Neo-Tokyo, fighting battle after battle against the evil magistrate and his minions. My voice is already starting to hurt me. Of course, he never really defeats the evil magistrate. Although, I guess he did defeat him this time. Sniff. I see. Neo-Tokyo? Who comes up with these names? I'm gonna just step out for a little bit, get myself something to drink, hopefully help me with my voice. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was just getting myself a can of iced tea to help with my voice when my voice starts to hurt, because this is going to be mostly me talking. Just repeating what the characters are saying. Now, where were you on the day of the murder? Well, that morning, I came to the studios at 9. We worked through some action scenes until noon. Rehearsal was to begin at 5, but I was a little tired. So after lunch, I took a nap in my dressing room. When I woke up, it was after 5 o'clock. I was late for rehearsal. I hurried to the studio and found everyone looking shocked. They arrested me on the spot and brought me here. So he was sleeping the entire afternoon of the murder? Some action hero. What will the kids think? I think I should probably check out the scene of the murder. Right, Global Studios. I'll draw you a map. Wow, Nick, let's go! I'm willing to bet $10 she asks for autographs. Let's present our attorney's badges for fun. Here. I see. Let me guess. This guy wasn't the top student in improv class. Studio, main gate. October 16th, Global Studios, main gate. Wow, so this is where they make the Steel Samurai show. Awesome. Aren't you excited? What word even is that? Hey, you there! You want in? You gotta go through me. Oh, sorry. We're, lawyers. Oh, yeah? Well, that's great. I'm security. And it's my job to make sure that gawkers like you stay out. Gawkers? Gawkers, sightseers, tourists. I know the type. You heard about the incident and came to snoop around. News today. Something horrible happens. You see, the thing is, this is actually something I forgot when I started streaming this. I was going to actually record all of this dialogue. I was then going to speed it up and edit it in. But now that I'm streaming this, I can't do that. Nick? Will I grow up to be like her? Please say no. Yes! Spilled my tea a little bit. Hey! Listen when you're being spoken to youths today. So, what do you do here at the studios? At Global Studios, we make children's dreams come true. In fact, in my younger days... No, you were a star? Only a little twinkle between the stars here, I'm afraid, dearie. Wow. This place has really gone downhill, you know. But 10 years ago, now that was a studio of dreams. Hammer was a big star back then, too. He was... Hammer? The victim, dummy. The evil magistrate. He's been reduced to playing villains now. Not exactly the best material to work with. I don't know. I mean, from what I've heard, a lot of actors actually kind of like playing evil characters because they get to ham it up. At least from what I understand. I could be completely wrong about that. Heck, in fact, I don't even think... in fact, I think most actors don't even care whether or not they play the hero or the villain, so long as they're being paid well enough. He's been reduced to playing villains now. Not exactly the best material to work with. Can you tell me about Mr. Willpowers? He's not a bad kid, but don't be fooled by his mask. You wouldn't want him on the silver screen without it, believe me. The little ladies watching would lose their lunch. That's probably why he thought the Steel Samurai was his big chance. No one thought he was capable of doing what he did to poor Jack Hammer. We don't know for certain that Willpowers is guilty. Powers? Of course he's guilty. How do I know? I know everything. That's my job. What kind of person was Jack Hammer? What kind of person? Oh, if only you knew. Jack Hammer will live on in many hearts as the ultimate action hero. He was simply dashing in the Dynamite Samurai series. Should I have heard of that? But there was an accident during filming 5 years ago. He got an unlucky break after that, reduced to playing the villain on a children's program. What's more, I heard they were paying him peanuts. It's enough to make you cry. Why are you so certain Mr. Powers is the killer? I was standing right here yesterday, I was here from 1 in the afternoon to 5 when they found the body. Now the studio where the murder took place is to the left of here. So if you want to go to the studio, you have to pass by me. Only one person went by here between 1 and 2:30 when the murder took place. And that person was Mr. Powers? Yes, I saw him. But Mr. Powers says he was sleeping in his dressing room. Oh, I'm sure he would say that. He's no fool. But he was the only one that walked by. He's the killer. You can bet your biscuits on it. Isn't it about time for you to be heading home? There's nothing to see here. Move along. Actually, we're here at Mr. Powers' request. I thought you were suspicious looking. Show me a letter of request, and maybe I'll just let you in. This lady here thinks she owns this place, obviously. Alright, going back to the detention center, getting a letter of request. 1 second. Hello, how was the studio? They all think I did it, don't they? No, not at all. Isn't that right, Nick? Right, not at all. At worst, you're a suspect. Mr. Powers, you aren't hiding anything from me, are you? What? No, I'd never do that. Earlier you said that you were sleeping in your dressing room after lunch. Yes, like a baby. But the security lady says she saw you that way. She says she saw you heading towards the scene of the crime. What? That's not possible. I really don't know what to say. I was sleeping, I promise. Mr. Powers, if you want me to help you, you have to tell me the truth. I'm new to this lawyer business, and I need every advantage I can get. I know, I'm sorry. But I swear to you on my mama's grave, I was sleeping. Maybe the security lady only thought she saw me? What did she see? You don't seem to be lying. About the security guard at the main gate to the studio. Oh, the security lady? She's terrible. She called me suspicious looking. Yes, actually, she said the same thing to me before. Take off that mask. Were her words, I believe. She sucks up to all the bigwigs at the studio. But let her see you stumble once and she'll never let up on you. She's got some nerve. Do you think you could write up a letter formally requesting my representation? Of course. Now we have the letter of request. Let's hope this will get me past that security lady. Alright, back to the main gate. Ma'am, have a look at this. It's a letter of request from Mr. Powers. Yes, I recognize the bold, childish scrawl. Powers request given to the security lady. To think he would entrust his fate to use of such unreliable appearance. Really? Anyway, you may pass. Look only left from here, towards the studio. No going to the right. That's the employee area. No one allowed inside, pal, were my instructions. The good detective told me himself. Hey, Nick! Huh? There are maps in the security guard station. Hey, not bad. Those are 50 cents a piece, thank you! Well, time to go, Nick. 50 cents! How do streamers do this? We've already talked to her about everything. I see the pose now. I've played through this game like once before, and I've seen other people play it dozens of times. I've just noticed the pose among. I didn't even know what the fuck the rest of that was. Hey, aren't you that murderer from the other day? Ah, it's that confused detective. Hey, pal, you know Prosecutor Edwards is all upset, and it's all your fault. I saw him sipping tea and staring gloomingly out the window. So? Hey! If he's depressed, it's all your fault for doing sloppy detective work. Detective? I think you hurt his feelings. Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, I think his feelings are easily hurt. You're right, pal. It's all my fault. I can't blame other people. All I want, I can blame other people all I want, but I know the truth isn't. I know the truth in my heart. Hey, don't take it so hard. There's always the next case. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Hey, what exactly are you two doing here? Well, we're on this case too, pal. Huh? Hey, you can't just go around saying pal like that. That's my intern character trait. I'd say he's a character, alright. Alright, Gumshoe. How's the investigation going? Well, hey, I can't tell you that, pal. Nick, maybe you need to be a little more indirect with your questions. Right, so detective, mind if I take a look at what you got? What I got? The autopsy report. The latest version, if you please. Right. Sorry about what happened last time, pal. Alright, so that's not gonna be, well, there we go. Oh, we can't check it any further. Time of death, 10:15 at 2:30 p.m. Cause pierced through the chest by a spear. Excuse me. Reason for arrest. Why was Mr. Powers arrested? Simple, pal. The murder took place right over there in Studio 1. Now, the victim entered Studio 1 at approximately 1 p.m. At that time, there was no one other than the victim in the studio. According to the autopsy report, the time of death was 2:30. Only one person went to the studio between 1 and 2:30. And that person was none other than Will Powers. No one else, pal. If you think I'm lying, ask the security lady at the main gate. Nick, if that's true, anyone would think that Powers did it with that kind of evidence. Thanks for cheering me up. About the security lady. Oh, that sweet old lady? What a charmer. Huh? Are we talking about the same person? When I showed her my badge, she gave me a donut and some coffee. Remember what Powers said? She's a sucker for authority. She even gave me a piece of valuable evidence. What? What kind of evidence? Well, photo. The photo of the Seal Samurai heading towards the scene of the crime. What? Who took that? See the camera up on that gate, pal? The gate? You mean the one with the welcome sign? Yeah, whenever someone walks by that camera, automatically snaps a photo of them. Oh no! Nick, he has evidence! We're finished! Funny, for someone with hard proof, he doesn't look too happy. What's wrong, pal? You seem down. Don't look so happy when you say that. We'd like to ask the employees here some questions. Sure thing, pal. Go wherever you like. Of course, you're not going to find any clues I haven't already found. I'm glad someone around here seems to be enjoying themselves. Nick, let's go! We've got a free pass to the place. Now's our chance to check things out. 1 second. Sorry, sometimes, when I talk for a long enough period of time, I just get a little... I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I start to get a little backed up. Is that even the right word? Is that even the right way to put that? I don't even know. I can feel mucus building up in my nasal passages. Studio Mascot. I guess it's a monkey of some kind. But what kind of monkey has a nose like that? He's holding a sign in his hand. Right. Okay, right to Studio 1, left to Studio 2. What's up with that thing? It looks kind of busted. Oh, the wind was pretty strong yesterday and the head broke off. Of that big-ass thing? How fragile is this fucking statue? It took the tree down with it, too. The entrance to Studio 1. This is the studio where they found Jack Hammer's body. Let's go in and check it out, Nick. Hey, it's locked. Looks like you need a key card to get in. It makes sense that they would want to keep the non-employees out. Hey, there's a camera here. That's the security camera. It takes photos of people going to the studio. All you have to do is look at the data and you can see who went where. There's a number plate on the camera. ST1307. Must be the camera ID number. I think we've seen everything we need to see here. Nick, look! That security lady is in the security guard station stuff is that security lady is in the guard station stuffing her face with donuts. I guess all cops like their donuts. Yeah, and they're soft enough she doesn't need teeth to chew them. Hey, you! Well, are you satisfied Powers is guilty yet? She had to make my life harder by giving that photo to Detective Gumshoe. Why didn't you tell us about that security photo, ma'am? Oh, that? I just thought it would be more thrilling to talk with the detective himself. These things are important, you know. Oh. Just to the left from here is the camera with is the gate with the camera that took the photo. It's my job to check the photos every day, you see. This guard station is in a central position. No matter where you go here, you pass by my station first. That poor Hammer, he went to the studio just before 1 o'clock. The murder happened right around 2:30, see? The only one I seen go through here between 1 and 2:30 was Powers himself. The security camera got a good look at him too. If he's not the one if he's not the one what did it, I don't know who is. God, I need to learn to speak better. Maybe it was you? Good one, Sonny. She thinks I was joking. Was the victim, Mr. Hammer, a popular actor? Oh, he was the biggest star in the studio. Was? Past tense? Oh yes, he was the great as the bearded samurai. That too, yes. He's shown the brightest back in the day. Making a star like him play the evil magistrate, it's a disgrace, I tell you. Hammer took it pretty hard, and who can blame him? About the security camera. Oh yes, the camera. It's automatic. It can tell when someone walked through the gate, see? Then it snaps a photo. Apparently, it records the time when it takes a picture too. But I don't bother myself with those details. I just view all the photos on the computer over in the security guard station. I check them every day before going home, I do. I don't think there's anything I can present her. Also, just looking at this, like, that tree doesn't look to be blocking really anything. I mean, like, half the road, so vehicles might have a problem, but people could still get through, no problem. Employee area. October 16th, Global Studios, employee area. Nick! This is where they do all the behind-the-scenes stuff! Hey, look! There's Powers' dressing room! No one's here this soon after the murder, I guess. Let's take a look around. Okay, I think this is really the only thing that... There's a sign by the dressing room door. Real Powers, it must need to be the star and have your own room like this. I think, oh, that's odd. I think this is the only thing that needs to be checked. The remains of yesterday's lunch are scattered around. Everyone was probably too shocked to clean up. There's a T-bone, there's a T-bone on one of the plates minus the steak. T-bone steak? That would have hit the spot. You just had a burger. Yeah, but I have a second stomach just for steaks. What? I'd like to point out that there is a little bit of a spoiler here for later in the case, but there's no way you would know that unless you already played the case, though. you'll notice that that should not be there. There's this. The middle grate on the drain here has been taken off. That's a pretty big drain. A kid could fit through there, I bet. Yeah, if you snuck in that way, you wouldn't have to pay at the gate. Well, if you want to leave that way, be my guest. Right. Huh? Hey, I'm not a kid. And I believe that's everything. At least right now. Dressing room. October 16th, Global Studios, dressing room. Powers' dressing room. So this is where he was sleeping? Or at least, this is where he claims he was sleeping. No one actually saw him taking a nap here, did they? Right, and there's a picture of him near the crime scene. I hope he's telling the truth, for his sake. Let's see what's in the bag. This must be Powers' bag. Hey, don't open that. Look! An employee key card. That must be Powers. It says Studio 1. Let's take it, Nick. Borrow it. You mean borrow. Keycard added to the court record. Let's take a look at this. There's a vast array of cosmetics here. Oh! This is the wig you used in Samurai Boogie Woogie. Nick, try this on. No. And how can you tell the name of a show just by looking at a wig? I kind of like samurai movies. Kinda. Looks like someone was sleeping here. V Powers did take a nap here yesterday. And I believe that's everything in here for now. So let us return to outside Studio 1. I'm sorry? Hey, detective, take a look at this. Who's that? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't show him that! He'll confiscate it. I just wanted to show it off. I'm very confused. We have the... Do I have to examine it? Yeah, I have to examine it. The entrance to Studio 1. This is the studio where they found Jack Hammer's body. Let's go in and check it out, Nick. I wonder if this key card we borrowed from the dressing room will work. It opened! Alright, we're in! She's way too happy for someone visiting a crime scene. Okay, so now we can actually go inside. October 16th, Studio 1. What is it? You're real quiet all of a sudden. Doesn't it give you the shivers, Nick? That white tape, it's so real. Well, the evil magistrate did die here, and the steel samurai killed him. The murder weapon was a samurai spear. Sounds pretty real to me. They outlined where Jack Hammer's body lay with tape. His body was found still inside the evil magistrate costume. I guess that's why the head part looks like a helmet. Funny, I expected a spear stabbing would leave at least a few blood stains. I guess the costume must have absorbed most of it. Look, a ladder! That's a step ladder. So, what's the difference? You need to stop judging things based on narrow-minded cultural assumptions, Nick. Right, sorry. This girl is out there! Wow! Look at that camera! That must cost a ton! Yeah, so don't touch it. Whoa! It's heavier than I thought! Hey, you! No touching that! Ah! Sorry. My partner's kind of, you know. You know? No, I don't! Who are you? Who, me? I'm an assistant here. I help with props and stuff, moving them around, ordering new ones, etc. We're lawyers representing Mr. Will Powers. Oh, you're WP's people? WP? Oh, Will Powers. WP. I get it. I don't envy you guys one bit, but do what you can for WP, okay? He'd never hurt a fly. He has to be innocent. Don't worry. Leave it to us. Alright. The day of the crime. Could you tell me anything about the day of the murder? Yes, I was in the studio the whole day. I was the only assistant on staff that day, you see. Only one assistant? Yes, well, the studios isn't doing so well right now. And yesterday was only rehearsal for our action sequences. Oh, I see. In the morning, we went through the action sequences in the employee area. WP and Hammer were there, along with everyone else. The employee area, that's where Power's dressing room is, right? Yes, that's the place. After eating lunch there, Mr. Hammer went to Studio 1. Then I saw WP go into his dressing room. But I didn't see either of them after that. Did you know that Mr. Powers was sleeping in his room? No, I wouldn't go in there unless I had some urgent message for him. I mean, it's his private. What kind of a girl do you think I am? What kind? No. I'm sure you're a fine girl. I'm sorry. So much for getting a confirmation of Powers' alibi. What do we do, Nick? We haven't found anything. If WP was the only one who came to the studio, then he has to be the killer. They even have a photograph. Sorry, I know you're busy. Not really. Actually, there's been something bothering me. Aha! That's what I'm talking about. A clue. A lead! Well, I don't know about that, but that day, just after noon, I sensed someone was here. You sensed? Yes, several times. Some other studio employees, maybe? No, I don't think so. The only thing we had scheduled was an action scene run through. I was the only assistant here that day. I had a feeling it was someone from outside. Really? But wait, if someone had come in here, wouldn't that security lady have noticed them? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I don't have any better information than that. No, thanks. That helps us a lot. Anything helps. Let's go put that security lady on the spot. 1 second. Man. Sending someone. So you sensed that someone other than the regular film crew was in the studio? Yes, I think. I think doesn't cut it in a witness testimony. Nick, what about that security lady? If someone else came into the studio, she must have seen them. I don't know why, but I got the feeling I could, like, slide here and look more to the right. I have absolutely no idea why. 1 second. That's at Studio 1. Let's go talk to the security lady. What? You're still here? Really? You look as though you've seen a ghost. Assistant's claim. What? I saw that suspicious look on your face. I wanted to ask you again about yesterday. You came here at 1 p.m., correct? And the estimated time of Hammer's death was 2:30. Are you sure that Powers was the only one to go through here between those times? Sure as can be. But we have a witness who thinks there was someone from outside here that day. What? Are you absolutely sure you were here watching the whole time? Ma'am? Who was it? Who told you that? Who dares question me? Eek! Alright, you better tell me and tell me quick. You spiky-haired cretin. Someone's been complaining about the work I do, eh? We were just talking to the assistant in Studio 1. Her? She's not even a full-time employee. Oh, you youngins are all like nowadays. Running your end. Here we go. I'm not even... Nope, I'm not even going to attempt this. Delicious tea, and she's gone. Well, Nick, this is our chance to do what we can without her looking over our shoulders. Oh, and it's now we're getting slow frames. I'm going to have to look at that in editing. Do I want to move or... Actually, let's examine. Let's take a look at this computer here. The computer that runs the studio's security cameras. Nick! Maybe we can see that photo of Powers with his computer. Yeah, maybe. Should I try the computer? Yes! Okay, let's give it a try. You know how to work these things, Nick? Looks like I just have to enter in a few numbers. Let's see. First, I need the date of the murder. It looks like the camera turned on at 1 p.m. that day. 1 p.m. That was when the security lady arrived at the guard station. Please enter the number of the security camera. I think it was this? There, entered. Hey, it printed out the data for that day. Let's see what we got. Huh? How is this a picture of Will Powers? Well, he is the one who always wears that suit. I guess that's why the security lady thought it was him. I don't imagine the detective was very happy with the photo of this photo of evidence. Something's printed on the back. Huh? October 15th, 2 p.m. Photo number 2. What does that mean? Maybe there's more photo data from that day? Nope, that's the only one in the computer. Powers' photo, question mark. That's a court record. Hey, Nick! Can't we use this photo as evidence for the trial? Yeah. We'll put that security lady in her place with this. Right. We'll put her in her place. Hey, that's what I said. Anyway, let's show her this photo and see what she says. Wait, let's not. Why not? It's never a good idea to reveal your hand to the enemy too soon. Nick, you're craftier than I gave you credit for. Why, you could be the next evil magistrate. Hey, why do I have to be the villain? Relax, it was just a joke. So, are we done for today? I think this photo is what we needed for the trial. Still, it better be if we had some idea of who the real killer was. Maybe it really is that security lady. To be continued! Right about now. Save your progress up to this point? Yes. Alright, I'm gonna take another quick break. Just feeling a little weird. Plus, I'm gonna get another can of brisk is what I said in case it didn't go through. Okay, I am back. October 18th, 10 a.m., District Courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous act. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. Will it now? Very well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well, I call on most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court? Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there is a gate, see? Past the gate, there are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then, after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. After that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m., the production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to the whole thing again? Nope, we're good. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name? Why aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. He's not having any of it. Your name, please. Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please! Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. Just call me no, I'm not doing this. Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness! Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at... I'm sorry. For whatever reason, the humor of that moment just... It finally hit me. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yeah, see, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have had to pass me by. Pass by you, I'm sorry. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5 o'clock. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 o'clock. It was Powers. That man right there, and he was heading toward the studio. You saw the defendant then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? Oh, I thought that was going to continue. I think I already know what I had to present. Unless I'm, like, way ahead of this. On the day of the murder, I arrested the conversation. Yada, yada, yada. Four hammer and the rest of them. Errors were run. Conversation. 2 o'clock. This is a wrist. I'm gonna go with it anyway. Objection! I don't know why it was wrist, because I knew it was that. Let me get this straight, old bag, or Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo-Old Tokyo. Miss Old Bag? Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course! Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't! Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I know that! I wasn't born yesterday! No one in this courtroom is accusing you of that, witness. He's having trouble calling her Old Bag, apparently. However, you do not have to prove that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? But, nosy old man, of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edward is surprised? The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Wow, old Windbag has left even Edward speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof, then. Man in the photo. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of his props and it was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his legs, see? Clear as day. That's how I know. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? So he had sprained his ankle? Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Now, there is one piece of evidence we're missing. So it all comes down to how do I find it. This I already have. Yeah, I don't have it. Okay, I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. We're gonna press her on everything until we find the evidence. Whippersnapper! Hey, I haven't said anything yet. I'll have you know I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything I've said is on the straight and narrow, the up and up. You today. Mr. Wright, please, for all our sakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edward has met his match. That morning during the run-through of the action scene, who was present at the run-through? Well, let's see. There was Powers, he's the Steel Samurai, and poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate, and me. And what exactly were you doing there? Observing, just observing. What about the assistant? Oh, she was moving backdrops around and such. So she didn't see the run-through. I saw Powers trip and fall. Trip and fall? Yes, and I think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh! So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? No. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? I agree, Judge. Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Power's ankle. You may continue your testimony. He even broke one of the props. It was a big mess. He broke a prop? Sure did. His own samurai spear. His samurai spear? The murder weapon? Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This strikes me as significant detail. I better write this down on the corner. The murder weapon. A break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Didn't he already? Was Mr. Power's ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus, the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot, okay. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me, which is, where is this Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor? Hold it right there! We keep talking possibilities, but we have to argue that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. A new testimony. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., right? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. One second. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with me today. For whatever reason, like, just talking this much is, it's just hurting me and making me uncomfortable in certain ways. Hopefully, this will stop as I continue streaming. So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Okay, I actually forgot the entire testimony, so I'm going to read it real fast again. 2:30. The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. Well, hold on now. Photo number 2! Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. Look at this photograph! This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture? And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2! Even I know that means that it was taken at 2 p.m. on October 15th. Really, Sonny. Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2? The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it If it really was the only photo? Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not one, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for 1 of the photos. Who could have erased the data from the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. You watch your mouth, whippersnapper! The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, old bag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate? Someone other than the Steel Samurai? Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. One second, let me do that again. Let's see. Your testimony, please. The other person. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see? Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out 1 photo that day. Miss Oldbag! This is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the... one second. See, come to think of it, I remember... Let's see what's on this. Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased? A fanboy. A fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Wait a sec. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside, and well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain? I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers. Kids? So on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order! Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day? One was a Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. Right! As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping. Honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it. Really? What? You should take better care of your stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a steel samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect. Nick! What are we going to do? First, we play for more time. We start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right! And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. I'm doing these long sighs to try and catch my breath from all the talking. Does that mean... Please don't sigh like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Powers. 1 second, I have to make those noises again. Oh, my apologies. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there's still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order! Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right. Great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed this crime? It was the security lady! It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag! Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady! Oldbag! What? Whippersnapper? One second. Order! Order! Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag! That's Miss Oldbag to you! Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. And like that, Capcom is sued. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have any opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Baby boy, don't just sit there, do something! That's my move. Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. Press further. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers likes a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings. To help. Wait just a minute! What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy! The one whose photo I erased! He's only a grade schooler, though. As you said, 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter! When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds, tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Or is it being nice to the kids and mean to your elders' day, whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed. Then let us see what this proof is, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder? Do I? I mean, I doubt he has a card key. Take that! The scene of the murder, as we all know, is Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The windbag. Speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy... What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. And the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Alright, well, it's been a nice week for... Wait a second! I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me! I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. My lips were sealed. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to be accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this is a bad dream, Your Honor. This isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. The witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Well, I'm gonna press everything. So you were told not to talk. That's right. By the studio and the TV bigwigs, no less. Why didn't I hear about this? Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Who are these people? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So, where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer at, around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? It was the Studio 2? Of course! Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... yeah, let's take a break. Your Honor, we have learned that there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned. October 18th, 1:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Aw, really, it's nothing. Grin. Or should I say, sniff. Well, we'd be going down to the studio... I'm sorry. We'll be going down to the studio to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who was it? Who was in the Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been old Windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right, we'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks, guys. To be continued. This time it actually will, as I am ending the stream here. Alright. I am working on setting up a regular streaming schedule. However, for this week, it's what I was planning to be my streaming schedule is not going to work out. As it turns out, I actually have plans on one of the days I was going to be streaming. So next week is when the normal stream schedule will happen. But I am going to be going. I am going to be streaming again tomorrow. The days I plan on streaming are Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. However, I have plans on Sundays, so can't do that. But I will play what I was planning on streaming on Sunday tomorrow instead. So, until then, this has been CS Nazo signing out. I'll see you guys later with something else. Now, oh, there we go.